I mean, is Cooper Rush worth 2.5 points? I would hope Quinn Ewers put up a decent stat line against Arizona State. If he didn't, we have a real problem.
You can say the same thing about Creighton. Okay, they had the one good game against Kansas at home.
When Toast talks about the kicking market, it's like some earth is flat shit. Andy, true or false, this is going to be a dog walking.
Dog walking. This is my dog walking of the day. I think it's going to be very ugly. Dog walking. I think this is going to be ugly.
Hey, get the sauce. Greetings. Happy Tuesday to you all. Hope you're all having a nice day. Hope you all had a nice Monday night. Hope you all had a better Monday night than I did. 1-3, making me a grand total of, drum roll please, 1-7 in my last 8 NBA bets. The highs and lows of sports betting, man. I was on an absolute rampage too. I picked up 16 units in just over a week. I was just like crushing it. Couldn't miss. Then I've fallen off a cliff. It's 2 days. I probably sound like a clown overreacting. Obviously, it sucks. Whatever. We'll get it turned around. We got 8 games tonight. I have some good positions here. I beat the closing line of most of mine except one, which happens to be one of my favorites where the market's moving against me. We'll get to it. Matt, how are you, pal?
I'm doing well, Kyle. Thanks for asking.
Well, I'm always concerned for you. I'm going to be in your city. Week from Friday, got invited to Phillies Dodgers. If you want to meet up, maybe have a cold one in the parking lot.
A cold one, huh?
A cold
Very
one?
Nice.
Want to indulge in a cold one? No, serious, not joking. A week from Friday, I'll be at Phillies Dodgers. My friend from high school just texted me. Let me look it up. Friday the 4th, I think. Yeah, I'll be there.
I don't live in Philly, but...
Oh, I forgot you moved. In that case, forget what I said. I didn't really want to hang out anyway. I was just trying to be nice. That's right. You live down in Virginia now. Both you freaks live in Virginia.
Yeah, Chris and I are going to hang out soon. We're just trying to figure out time together.
That sounds lovely.
It's going to be a great time. Yeah.
All right. Let's talk Orlando, Charlotte. And, almost not even worth me sharing it at this point. I do have a bet in the game. Placed a small bet on Orlando minus 4.5, but not only is it one of my smaller bets, or it's 0.75 units, but also I got 4.5. I have this one at 6.5. So it's now at the point where I wouldn't bet it. Orlando obviously looked great last night, and they're 6-5 against the spread on 0 days rest. So it's not like Orlando's a blind fade in these spots. They've been all right. 6-5 against the spread, like I said. Orlando's just been good against bad teams. If you've been betting the Magic when they play bad teams, you're turning a profit. Fading them against good teams, you're turning a profit. So Charlotte, definitely a team I would consider a bad team. I'm not worried about Cole Anthony most likely missing another game. Doesn't really move the needle for me. Not that I think he's a bad player or anything, but I have this one. I think I have it at Orlando minus 6.2. So now that it's at 5.5, 6, I wouldn't bet it. But I do have a small bet on the Magic here at minus 4.5. What about you, Matt?
So I've recently really dove in deeper into the first quarter market. It's the most successful market I've had, so I figured why not just see how far that goes. Yesterday was the first.
Prop Beaver was actually telling me that you're officially a first quarter king now.
It's been one day and I went 4-1, so I think I can't say that I should go 4-1 every single night moving forward, because that's obviously how these things work. Anyways, I just wanted to preface that with the picks that I have today. This one would be under 5.5 first quarter points for LaMelo. This guy just refuses to start hot. In his last 14 games, his over-under point prop is 22.5. He's only gone over that number in 6 of 14. His first quarter point prop of 5.5, he's only hit in 1 of his last 14 games. In 5 separate times, he landed on 5 points. So it's not like he's even come close to getting the 6 number that we need him to. The matchup against the Magic, honestly, isn't terrible. The Magic give up, they're below average guarding the pick and roll ball handler. They allow the highest frequency of pull-up shots against them. But guys similar to LaMelo haven't had success, like 5 of 12 in terms of the same scoring profile as LaMelo have hit the over. LaMelo did crush this number the first 2 times he played the Magic, but Miles Bridges missed both of those games. And his usage rate with Miles Bridges, it's like night and day what it is now. So the best price you can get is minus 125 at Bet365. But yeah, this is definitely one of the ones I like a lot.
I thought you were playing all these first quarters because this league is a steaming pile of shit, and every game is either a blowout or, just coaches doing nonsense in the later quarters. You're just actually becoming a first quarter capper now. We're taking first quarter unders for starters here. This is what we're doing.
I'm just trying to make money, and this has been the most successful market I've had. So I figured, why not see how far we can go? And yeah, the league does suck, and LaMelo refuses to start hot. So if does the money count less because it's a first quarter under?
Sounds like a guy hungry for
the
some
money
dongs.
doesn't. The money doesn't count less, but your pride certainly takes a hit.
Well, my pride is as low as it gets. So.
All right. So Wodai gives out a LaMelo Ball first quarter under 5.5 points. Chris, what are your thoughts on LaMelo Ball's first quarter under points here?
Man, I hope it goes under because I didn't bet it, Cal, and I feel like an idiot now. I guess a little bit, not really that much. Like the line's only at 5.5 now, and like I'm looking at it last night. I'm just like going through all my notes, Cal, and you know this. Like if you're capping Orlando, it's really weird, right? Like right now it feels weird. You said this on the show yesterday. You said Orlando's actually playing with some pace. Their offense is getting better. Like I don't know what it is. Like I really wanted to pull the trigger, and I'm looking at Charlotte. Defensively, they're the worst defensive team in the NBA. So do I think Orlando can come in here and win the game? I do. Do I think that they win it by margin? I do. Did I play the bet? No, I didn't, because I kind of feel like Orlando needs to show it to me again. They are what, 5-1 against the number in their last 5 games, and they dominated Charlotte too. Like they won 3 straight, covered all 3, 8 of the last 10, covered all 8 of the 10 that they have won. And I look at going back to Charlotte's defense: 134 to Atlanta, 123 to the Clippers, 134 to San Antonio, 141 to OKC, 122 to the Miami Heat. I know Orlando's set, so if you use cleaning the glass, you can see teams' offensive ratings on second leg, like when they're playing unrested. And Orlando is only better than Washington. Washington has 100 rating on the second leg of back-to-back games. Orlando's a 104. But like,
how's the defense though? How's the defense?
It's pretty good. It's still top 10. So it's Orlando. It's Orlando. I'm probably gonna end up betting it. I know you said it's the worst number. I still think I'm gonna bet it. I think they win the game by multiple possessions. So
you can still get a 5 on Caesars.
Is it still 5 on Caesars?
Yeah, everywhere else is 5.5. Looks like you can still get a 5 on Caesars. Circa has it at 6.
Yeah. I think they win by more than 2 possessions.
Let's move on to the next one. And the next one is the game where the market is strongly against me here. I got cooked on this one. I got the Spurs at plus 8.5. You can now get an 11. No, scratch that. It looks like the 11's gone. So it's at 10.5 across the board. Like I said, I got Spurs at plus 8.5. Terrible bet. I really don't understand what is buying this up. I mean, I suppose if Steph Castle doesn't play and Cade Cunningham and Tim Hardaway Jr. both end up playing, those 3 pieces are all listed as questionable. So maybe if the injury report falls into place perfectly for Detroit, I could maybe see it, but I don't understand how we're laying such a big number with Detroit. The defense seems to be falling off a cliff here. I mean, in the last 3 games, this defense has not looked good. And what has Detroit done recently that makes everyone so comfortable that they're going to win by margin here? I mean, yeah, they had some pieces sitting in the New Orleans game. So, okay, they only won by 6, but I believe they were missing a couple pieces in that one. So, okay, disregard the Pelicans game. Before that, they lost to Dallas. Miami played them to a 3-point game. I mean, they beat the Pelicans before that by a big margin. Before that, 2 consecutive losses, one of them to the Wizards. I mean, it's not like Detroit's beating the shit out of teams. Yeah, they've established themselves as a pretty good Eastern Conference team, but it's not like they're blowing teams out left and right. The defense, like I said, looks really shaky. I think San Antonio is going to be able to score. Now, you won't hear me making a case for the Spurs defensively, especially if Cade Cunningham and Tim Hardaway Jr. are going to be on the floor for this one. Detroit's going to be able to score. They should be able to get into the paint, score points on the Spurs defense. Spurs have struggled on the defensive interior since Wembanyama went down. So, look, by no means am I saying, yeah, I trust the Spurs defense to make stops. I just don't trust the Pistons defense right now. I think this number's way too big. Like I said, got the worst of the number. I got cooked on this bet. I'm on Spurs plus 8.5. Obviously, not where you want to be, but I think this is going to be a close game. I don't trust the Pistons defense right now, so I'm on San Antonio.
I took Tobias Harris over 4.5 first quarter points. Quietly been a first quarter king. Nobody's talking about it because it's Tobias Harris, one of the most boring basketball players in the world, who I, as a Sixers fan, have never said a bad thing about Tobias Harris. So I just want to get that out there. Major respect for him. Anyways, so it was 5.5 this morning. You can actually get 4.5 for minus 125 right now. And I honestly like that better than the number that I got, just to be honest with everybody. So if you're locking this in right now, I would take the over 4.5 at -125. It's a number that he's hit in 23 of his last 30 games. And you drill in even more than that. It's 20 of his last 24 and 11 of his last 13, and he's hit it in 7 of his last 8. Like, he's gone over it very consistently. The matchup is good against the Spurs. I mean, he just played this team last month. He scored 10 points in the first quarter. He consistently plays majority of the time, all 12 minutes in the first quarter as well, which is important. Recently, that's been going down to like between 10 and in last game, he played 9, still scored 6 points in the first quarter, going over the number that I got and what it is right now. And then also Cade and Tim Hardaway Jr. are both questionable. Now, I think Cade's going to play. I would guess that Tim Hardaway Jr. misses. But either way, if they both play, like, I still think it's a good look for Toby. My guess is the reason why it's come down is because those guys haven't gotten ruled out. But yeah, I mean, Tobias Harris has just consistently gone over this number, and the Spurs defense has just fallen off of an absolute cliff. So that's at -125 at Bet365.
So Toby over 5.5 first quarter points. You said you would also play the 4.5 at -125.
Right now, I honestly like that one better. But what I gave out on my own channel was the 5.5 number.
What I love is these first quarter bets, man. Chris, what do you think?
It's like, no. I think you're on the right side, Kyle. I just think you got a bad number. I don't want to lay it with Detroit. You mentioned it, just 3-6-1 against the spread in their last 10. San Antonio, surprisingly, and I'm not a San Antonio backer because I don't like to back teams that don't play defense, but this feels like San Antonio can keep it within the number type game. I do think the injury report, of course, is paramount, which is why I didn't play it. If everybody gets ruled in and we still get I don't know if the number will move. I'm guessing it'll move. Stephon Castle means more to the spread. Means less to the spread than Cade, of course.
Right.
So I guess it would move. Maybe I could get a 12.5. But yeah, who's laying this many points with Detroit? Like, the last time they were laying this many points, Kyle, they lost outright to the Wizards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't.
So yeah.
I don't really understand. Now, I guess maybe some people have inside information that Cade is definitely going to play. Maybe that's why there's some sharp action coming in on Detroit. Because, I mean, look at the poll. We're polling over 50% in San Antonio. So it looks like they might be a bit of a public dog. Not that that matters, but clearly there's sharp action coming in on the Detroit side that I'm not seeing. So I'm on the Spurs.
Their strength of schedule, Kyle, is the question mark here. Their easiest strength of schedule last 5 games for San Antonio. They're not really stopping anybody. They have been getting out running in transition. Detroit typically takes that away, but you mentioned it. Detroit they're not a team anyway that's just been laying a bunch of points. I kind of feel like, and I'm interested in both of y'all's thoughts on this real quick before we move to the next game. It feels like some of these lines are starting to catch up with these teams. Like the Golden State Warriors, since they got Jimmy Butler on fire, right? And then all of a sudden they're not covering because the number keeps getting bigger, right? Same thing with Cleveland. Cleveland don't care about games, not covering. And that's where it feels like no point, like 3 weeks into the season, Kyle, I would have ever told you Detroit was going to be laying double digits, and they've done it like 4 times already this season. So I feel like it's getting a little overblown here.
Yep. So yeah, I'm on the Spurs, but like I said, market moved against me on this one. This is the only one of my bets that didn't beat the closing line, I believe. Speaking of beating the closing line, got a good one here. I'm on the over at 222.5. Wow, is it 225 now? Let me check. It looks like if you look, you could still get a 224.5. It's up to 225 and a couple. So I know the idea of taking an over in a Knicks game seems kind of crazy. I get it. I mean, the Knicks are 4-10 to the under in their last 14 games. They've been primarily an under team. No question, the Knicks offense has fallen off a cliff a little bit without Jalen Brunson in the rotation. So I know the idea of taking an over without Jalen Brunson with this Knicks team right now seems crazy. They don't run at a fast pace. They don't run in transition. Why on earth would I take the over here? Well, I think it's a little bit of a buy low spot in terms of Knicks totals. First of all, I just said they're 4-10 to the under in their last 14 games. They've only played 2 of those games against fast-paced teams. So the Knicks have played a lot of slow-paced teams recently. The 2 times they've played fast-paced teams, the Wizards, which went over the total, and Memphis, which went under, but the total was 244. So you got a Knicks team that's been playing a lot of games against slow-paced teams recently. On the year, against the top 10 teams in pace, the Knicks are 17-9 to the over. So Knicks games have gone over pretty regularly when they've seen fast paces. But on top of that, we're talking about the Mavericks, who That defense is terrible. Yet maybe if Anthony Davis is going to play the remainder of the season, he's definitely a piece that'll move the needle in terms of the Mavericks defense. He's one of the most key defensive pieces in the NBA. He's not playing. Well, I assumed he's not playing. He's been rolled out, right? Yeah. He's not playing in this game. When I placed the bet, I assumed he wasn't playing. So the Mavericks are going to go back to being shit defensively. They were 29th in defensive efficiency in the previous 10 games. They're on a back-to-back as well, which is, in a lot of cases, you see defensive efficiency fall off a little bit. So even though I don't like the Knicks offense right now, and this Knicks team is not built to go over the total, I think this is a good spot for the Knicks to have a good offensive game against Dallas. And then on the other side, you take McBride out, you throw Tyler Kolek in there, probably going to get 20 some odd minutes. I think we're looking at points either way. I got a good number in this one. I'm on the over at 222.5. Modi?
All right. In this one, I got Cameron Payne over 3.5 first quarter points. Minus 120 odds at Bet365 is the best offer price, or minus 120 at Bet365. It was minus 125, but a little bit better number. I absolutely love this one. There's only been 2 games this year where Cameron Payne has played all 12 minutes in the first quarter. Happens to be the only 2 games that both McBride and Brunson missed. Obviously, that's the case tonight. Last game, he scored 10 points in the first quarter against the Wizards. Now, I don't necessarily think he's going to do that. He took 6 shots. He took 4 3-pointers, got to the line, 2 free throws as well. The other time he played in the first quarter, or all 12 minutes in the first quarter, he didn't go over the 3.5 number, but he took 5 shots. He just went 1 of 5 from the field. If someone's going to take 5 shots, I'll gladly take for them to score 2 points. You mentioned that the Mavericks defense has also fallen off a cliff, similar to the Spurs. Anthony Davis is going to play. They're just going to be a worse defense. And if somebody's going to play all 12 minutes, somebody like Campaign, he's not going to obviously score as much as Brunson or as McBride, but 2 buckets in 12 minutes when he's taken 5-6 shots in both games, which he's played all 12 minutes. Even at the odds, I don't normally love minus 120, minus 125, but this one I did hit.
He loves these first quarter points, man.
4-1 yesterday. I mean, come on.
4-1. It's an ample sample size.
Exactly.
5 bets.
Yeah.
Chris?
I don't have very strong opinions on this game, Kyle. I think PJ Washington being listed as questionable is big for your over. I think you kind of need him. If you like the over, you like Najee Marshall to be able to contribute for Dallas. I think he's going up and over. Go ahead.
If PJ Washington doesn't play, I just think I'm more looking at the Knicks side. I think the Knicks are going to score. No,
I agree. I just worry about Dallas potentially not being able to score. Not that they won't play fast. We know the Knicks play super slow pace. That scares me just a tad bit for you, Kyle. But I agree, though. I've been playing Dallas overs for a long time now, and they've been absolutely cashed because they suck at rebounding. So maybe it's just a Knicks team total over. They suck at rebounding, and they play super fast. So when you got Spencer Dinwiddie out there, best of luck trying to get stopped. So that's all I'll contribute here. I'm not playing this game.
Let's move on to the next one. I wanted this one. Kind of got my bluff called in this one.
Your bluff called, huh?
Well, last night someone asked, hey, are we betting the Heat? And I said, nah. I'll bet it at 6. There is a 6 there. So, there is now a 6. I said I would bet it at 6.
Put the belt up, Kyle.
You're on Golden State?
I got 4.5 last night, right after we finished this show. Remember, I said these markets are open. I played it maybe 35 minutes after we got done.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, so this is a national TV game too. I'm looking at Golden State. The bounce back has been real, Cal. And the revenge game, the bounce back, all that good stuff. They lost in Golden State.
Revenge game for who?
Revenge game for Golden State. Specifically, they lost.
I thought you were talking about the Jimmy Butler angle.
No. I don't really care. Do I think Jimmy Butler's going to be fired up for this game? Yes. I think
the entire city of Miami is going to be fired up for this game.
Me too. If they can get there on time, because they get there about 9:30. Right after halftime, they start to fill the stands. I don't know if you ever watched the Heat game, but it's all empty seats until about the halfway through the second quarter. But anyway, I do think that of course Jimmy's going to want to play well. Wiggins going to want to play well. Wiggins has been playing good. But the revenge game specifically, Golden State got smoked. They actually lost. They lost 114-98 back on January 7th. They were laying 8.5 points in that game. And they don't have a look ahead spot. They got the Pels coming up on Friday. from a trends perspective, this Golden State team is the most profitable team off a loss in the NBA, behind only the Boston Celtics. 65.5%, 19-10 against the number. And I also just looked into like the matchup. Golden State forcing a lot of turnovers, forcing the most turnovers in the league last 5 games. Miami struggled to take care of the basketball. They're giving it up at the 3rd highest rate. Miami's 3-point defense been bottom 5 as of the last 5 games as far as opponents' 3-point accuracy. So if Golden State's able to knock down some shots, I just think we're going to see really good defense as well, Kyle. Golden State has held 7 of their last 8 opponents under their team total coming off a loss. Since Jimmy's joined the team, they're 3-0 straight up and against the spread coming off a loss. Teams are averaging 97 points per game. And it's not like we're talking about the Indiana Pacers offense here. The Heat offense runs super slow. Golden State can match that pace. We saw them go into the Garden and beat the Knicks in a very slow-paced game on the second leg of a back-to-back. I think the Atlanta game was just a look-ahead spot to this one. And I do think that Golden State is going to want this one for Jimmy. And not that I didn't mention that. And I know you're going to tell me that I probably know your handicap here, Cal. But, yeah, I'm going to Golden State. I took a minus the 4.5. I think they win the game comfortably. With or without Steph, too. I don't care if Steph doesn't play.
Wow. Doesn't even care if Steph doesn't play. All right.
Steph's not even that important.
I mean, they're still. I think they're 7-3 against the number without Steph.
All right. I'm on the other side. Didn't bet it though. Golden State's offense looks really shaky recently. 24th in offensive efficiency in the last 5 games. Steph only missed 2 of those games, so you can't use the "hey, Steph didn't play" excuse, because the last 3 games Steph Curry did play were shaky offensive performances. They look pretty bad against the Knicks, pretty bad offensively, I'm speaking, against the Nuggets, and pretty bad against the Raptors. The Warriors have not been playing good offensive basketball. It looks like the book might be out on how to slow this offense down. You added Jimmy Butler in there, kind of caught everyone off guard. They couldn't be stopped. They're being stopped. I mean, what is Golden State? 2-7-1 against the spread in their last 10? Golden State hasn't been covering. They don't look good. Now, the defense still looks pretty good, but it's been significantly better at home. Their defense on the road has not been good recently. In their last 14 games, you take their last 7 home games, the last 7 road games, we're talking a significant night and day difference here. They got a 106 defensive rating in their last 7 home games, 115.5 in their last 7 on the road. So the offense looks like shit. They haven't played good defense on the road. Yeah, it's a Jimmy Butler revenge spot. I think it's a revenge spot for the entire city of Miami that feels like they were slighted by Jimmy Butler, that he gave up on them. He was their guy, and he kind of bailed on this city. So, I mean, I'm not one to, like, do the Twitter talking points, include that into a handicap of the game. I just obviously have to mention it. Miami's been profitable against 3-point shooting teams. It's teams that attack the paint that have given Miami problems. I think this number's too big. I think Miami's going to win. Miami's covered 3 in a row. I didn't bet it, though, so maybe I shouldn't talk shit. I think the Heat are going to win. Modi.
Then you should bet it. I didn't have an official play in this one. Everybody wants to talk about Jimmy, but I just have no idea. Like, if you just look at the matchup, the best matchup for him would be the assists. Obviously, I would like to know if Steph's playing or not. But the assist numbers for Jimmy Butler recently have been insane. His over-under 6.5. You can get that at plus 100 plus 105 at BetMGM. He's gone over that number in 6 of his last 7 games. So one game he didn't have that many. Like, he had 6 assists on 8 potential assists. Obviously, that's not what we're hoping for. Every other game, the other 6, 19 potential assists, 16, 17, 22, 22, and 14. It's just insane how much he's been playmaking. And, like, you could really galaxy brain yourself trying to figure out what Jimmy Butler we're going to see. Are we going to get him trying to score? Are we going to get him trying to be like, I'm actually the really good teammate Jimmy Butler and setting everybody up? I don't know. It felt like any bet I tried to make would be narrative based, which I don't really like to do. So I didn't officially have any bet on this one. But I like the assists. And I think if you want to, like, sprinkle a double-double, because he's also been doing a good job rebounding, I think that was like plus 300, plus 330 when I last checked. I think that's like a decent sprinkle for like a quarter unit, but I didn't officially bet anything in this game.
People are saying that Miami quit on Jimmy. I mean, what are you talking about? I saw it completely differently. And S. is in the comments, says he's betting the Heatles tonight. And he spelled
LeBron coming back?
Like Beatles.
Well, that's what they called when LeBron was there, him and Bosch and D Wade.
I might bet that, honestly, because the comments are like, like, oh, Heat are terrible. Golden State's so nice. When it's like, if you haven't been Golden State, you're taking a bath recently. You're 2-7 against the spread in their last 9. The type
They've
of
been
people.
landing some big numbers though, Kyle. They've been landing some pretty big numbers. Because remember, they were at home for a large part.
No,
of
but
that.
I mean, you could always tell when the betting population that will bet a team and lose 7 consecutive times in a row and legitimately not know it. Be like, how could you bet against this team? It's like, dude, are you even tracking? You know you're losing,
That's
right?
true. That's true.
That betting population. Atlanta, Houston, this is a tough one. So my thoughts on this one, we know the strength of this Rockets team is rebounding, right? They're top 5 on both sides of the floor when it comes to rebounding, and they've been very profitable against bad rebounding teams. That's been the story with the Rockets. You bet Houston when they play bad rebounding teams. Atlanta's not a bad rebounding team. In fact, you can make an argument that the Hawks are a top 10 rebounding team, certainly right now. So that normal bully ball where Houston's going to dominate the offensive glass and they're just going to completely smoke everyone in the rebounding department doesn't really apply here. So I'm a little hesitant to lay a big number with the Rockets in a matchup where they may struggle to win the rebounding battle, which is an area they always dominate. That being said, I mean, Hawks are an offense that like to attack the paint, and those types of offenses have had a lot of problems scoring on this Rockets defense, especially on the road in Houston. So also the Rockets transition defense is very good. We know the Hawks like to get out and run. So what the Hawks are trying to do as a whole, Houston's very good at defending. So I like the matchup for the Rockets. I just feel weird about laying a big number with them in a game where they might not be able to dominate, like where they might not have their bread and butter, which is dominating the glass. So it would only be Rockets for me here, but I couldn't get there. So it's Rockets or pass.
Can I go next, Moda?
Go ahead.
Just because Kyle laid out the handicap so perfectly, what he was supposed to say at the end for people that are watching is that he likes the under. Like he just didn't say it, but yeah, he likes that the Houston Rockets play really good transition defense. Atlanta likes to get out and run. He likes that the Houston Rockets are a really good rebounding team and don't give up a ton of points in the paint, and that's where Atlanta likes to score the basketball. So Atlanta's offense should be limited. Houston takes away a lot of assist opportunities. They've been one of the best. And Trae Young, of course, does he lead the league in assists? I'm pretty sure if he's not 1, he's number 2. And then on the opposite side, this Houston offense has some very technical difficulties at times where Jalen Green can only get 6 points like he did against Houston. And you got Dillon Brooks out there going 1 for 7 from the 3-point line. And it's not that Atlanta plays a great style of defense, but Houston's offense can get in their own way. They do things like they're the worst free throw shooting team. Like just small things like that. And Fred VanVleet is not there to save them. So I say all that just to say that Kyle I think he likes the under. 235.5 is a lot of points, Kyle. And I haven't played it yet.
Okay,
but
let me respond to that. So
I think
first of all, I modeled this game to way under this total. So I get why you're on the under. I guess I would lean towards the under as well. But you said this is 235.5, is a lot of points. The Hawks are 10-3 to the over in their last 13 games, and the totals are 241, 234, 231, 234, 241, 241.5. So that's what the total is in the Hawks games, and they go over a lot. So although I don't disagree with your pick on the under, I'll just counter by saying why I didn't bet the under, because the Hawks always have these super high totals, and they always seem to find a way to go up and over.
So let me rebuttal one quick sentence, Kyle. You remember the last time I think this might have been 2 Fridays ago. It was Atlanta at home versus the Clippers. And me and Ski went head to head on the total. Ski liked the—
Who won that? I remember that.
Ski won it. He liked the under. I said it was going over. All Atlanta games go over. That was the last time that Atlanta actually played a team that doesn't give up a bunch of points in the paint. They had an 8-point quarter. An 8-point third quarter, and I lost my bet. When do we see Atlanta ever have an 8-point? No, even the Hornets can score more than 8 points. So for that reason, I think this is the next team, Kyle, that this Houston team is the next team that Atlanta is going to play that runs that type of style.
Right,
Atlanta has not played a bunch. Yeah, it's your play too. You like the under, you just didn't say it. Go ahead.
No, I'll tell you, because I agree with a lot of what you said. I'm going to tell you on this. I'm going to bet this. All right, Modai, who do you like in the first quarter or whatever the hell you're about to say?
I didn't have a play in this one. The only lean that I'll give out would be Jalen Green, but full game points, not the first quarter. You can get that at plus 128 at FanDuel. With Fred VanVleet in the lineup, he's been awesome. Like he's gone over this number his last 16 of his last 22 games, specifically with Fred. If you look at the games where he struggled, it was games where Fred was out. Like he went under in 7 straight games. Fred missed basically every single one of those games except for one, and he scored 24 points in that game. Even with all these guys healthy, last game he put up 22 shots. He only made 8 of them, but he got to the line 14 times. The guy's volume is just insane, even with all their guys healthy. And the matchup's pretty good. Like the Hawks defense has been better, which is why I ended up holding off on this one. Everybody's scared of Dyson Daniels, which I get. He's a good defender. But I mean, if you look at on the entire season, the Hawks 7th most points per game to pick and roll ball handlers, 9th most via transition, 9th most via free throws, 11th most via the spot up. That's like play types number 1 through 4, and almost 90% of where Jalen Green's points come from. So I didn't end up betting this one. I was close to setting this one out. This is probably my favorite non first quarter bet that I didn't take. And so that's where I would go.
This is his favorite non first quarter bet.
Correct.
On my end, you're like reverbing pretty hard. I don't know if the audience is hearing the same thing.
He sounds good to me.
But
same for me too.
Here,
audience,
let me test.
Chime in.
He sounds fine on YouTube. I just unmuted YouTube. He sounds fine.
Oh, so it's just only.
I think it's just you because he sounds fine to me.
Shit out of me. That's good. Okay, all right.
It's not me. It's you.
Okay. Next game.
Memphis, Utah. I bet it. Got a Memphis -9 last night. Let me pull down my notes. I forget why I even bet it, but I'm going to tell you in a second.
I can tell you why, because Utah turns the ball over at a really high rate, and they suck in transition, and Memphis scores a lot in transition, and Memphis shouldn't have to worry about giving up points off turnovers because Utah doesn't force any.
Yeah. Okay. So yes, the turnovers huge factor in this one. So when I first started looking at it, I wanted to be on the over. You got 2 extremely fast-paced teams, 2 teams that go over when they play other fast-paced teams, because sometimes that's not always the case. Like the Bucks, Celtics, those are teams that when they play fast-paced teams, they make it a point to slow the game down. So just because 2 fast-paced teams are squaring up doesn't mean that they're necessarily going over or that they go over at about 500. These teams do. Both these teams, they're both an identical 13-6 to the over against other teams in the top 10 of pace. So you got 2 very fast-paced teams, 2 teams that usually go over the total when they play other fast-paced teams. So when I first looked at the game and I was like, 270 points scored in this fucking game. That was my first reaction when I looked at it. But the more I looked at it, the more I was drawn over to the Memphis side. Like Chris said, the turnover battle is dramatic. I don't think I've ever seen something quite as embarrassing and humiliating as the Utah Jazz turnover situation right now. It's like fundies. There's no fundamental basketball being played. They need to get Senza ball the ball more. Someone that just can handle it. If you don't know what I'm talking about, on the season and in the last 10 games, check this out. The Utah Jazz are 30th. Dead last in forced turnover rate, so they don't force any turnovers. They're also dead last in turnover rate, so they can't protect the ball and they can't force turnovers. Why am I talking about this? Because Memphis is top 10 in both categories, and they've been very profitable this year against teams that struggle in the turnover department on both sides. They've been very profitable against teams that don't force turnovers. They've been very profitable against teams that can't protect the ball. So that shifted me over to the Memphis side a little bit. And on top of that, Memphis has also played well against teams that shoot threes. They've struggled with offenses that attack the paint. Utah takes a lot of threes. So instead of taking the over, I ended up landing on Memphis -9. I had it at 13. So I guess I would still bet it at the -10.5, maybe for a small bet, but pretty comfortable on my Memphis -9 position, even without John Morant.
This one I took Walker Kessler over 2.5 first quarter points, plus 100 right now at Bet365 and ESPN Bet and Hard Rock, so you can get that number anywhere. I got a worse price, so the market disagreed with me. I got -115. Obviously, I love it at plus 100. I think this line is crazy. In general, Walker Kessler's hit this 17 of his last 29 games, so like 58% of the time. If you go even more specific than that, he's done it in 9 of his last 12. And the most important thing here is no Larry Markkinen, no John Collins. He's played 10 games without those guys in the lineup. He scored over 2.5 points in the first quarter. In 9 of those 10 games, the only game he didn't was last week, if you remember the game where he was ruled out and then they randomly ruled him back in because they wanted to avoid the fine. He only played 3 minutes in the first quarter of that game, and he only played 15 minutes of that game overall. The 2 games after that, played 9 minutes, 10 minutes in the first quarter. So I don't think he's going to have another situation where he doesn't play in the first quarter. That was a weird one where they just ruled him in because they didn't want to get fined. And yeah, without Markkanen, without Collins are the two most important things here. And then going up against the Grizzlies, like the matchup is, excuse me, the matchup is average. It's not amazing. It's not terrible. He's played them 3 times this year. He's gone over in 2 of the 3. But in all 3 of those games, one of Markkanen or Collins played. So he's never played them without both of them. So yeah, I didn't understand why this line moved against me, but I'll gladly take it at plus 100. And I liked it at minus 115.
Chris, what are your thoughts on my Memphis bet?
I like your Memphis bet. I couldn't bet them, Kyle, because they are 2-14-1 against the number since the All-Star break. And you're not gonna like my bet either. But, and I'm not on the opposite side.
Hold on. No. You're not gonna just throw that out there without giving some context. The Ja Morant, Jared Jackson Jr. less Grizzlies are terrible against the number. The Ja Morant less Jared Jackson Jr. Grizzlies yet to be seen. So I just want to make sure everyone knows that. It's a completely different team. Go on though.
They got smoked against the Clippers the other day. But
Clippers are the hottest team in the league.
I guess.
They are going
to beat your Knicks tomorrow, Kyle. At MSG. But
chill, don't be giving away my shit. I'm waiting for that to
open. If I was playing a side, Kyle, I think you're on the right side. It's too big of a number for me to lay with Memphis, but I think they're on the right side. This is only the 3rd time this season they've had 3 days of rest or more. So they haven't played since they lost to the Clippers on Friday. So ample amount of rest in this spot. What I bet, Kyle, you're not gonna like this. It's kind of gross. I bet under. I bet under 240. And the reason why I bet under is because both of these offenses have looked pretty bad. And it's not like the defenses have been good. Like, don't get it twisted. But the Utah offense has scored. The Utah offense is 29th in offensive efficiency last 5 games. They have a 103.1 offensive rating. Effective field goal percentage, bottom 5. Turnover rate, bottom 5. Offensive rebounding, they can't even do that anymore. So I don't think that they're going to be able to score the basketball. And I think it's the perfect get-right spot defensively for Memphis. Memphis gives up a lot of points off turnovers. They lost the game to the Clippers because they had 22 turnovers for 41 points off of those turnovers. That shouldn't happen today. I don't think Utah is doing what? Shooting a bunch of threes. They're not making them. They're shooting the 27th best percentage over their last 5 games. I think this game's going to be 125 to 110. I don't think we're going to see 240 points in this game. Utah has played in 3 games at home with a total of 240 or more. 3-0 to the under. They just don't like this. This version of their offense is not a scoring offense. There's no Lauri Markkanen out there. Who's going to get the points? They don't run the ball. They don't run through sense ball. So, yeah, I bet under at 240. It's not the most attractive thing, but I think it's a cash.
Modai, do you want to address these allegations? Someone's wondering if FanDuel is paying you to promote these first quarter plays.
I don't understand the context of the question, so I have no response.
No comment. He has no comment.
Let's Cal, real quick. Go ahead, Modai.
Well, I was gonna say, is it a bad thing that it's my best market with my highest ROI? Is that's a negative thing? Right?
I think he was more making a joke than actually asking a legitimate question.
I don't
Cal,
think so. I think
only thing I was going to add, Cal. Both of these teams 7-3 to the under in their last 10 games, and they played twice already. I think Ja played in the last one. They went under 247, went under 248, and neither one of them hit this total as well. So. Yeah,
I didn't bet the over, so you're not exactly disagreeing with me. And I personally just got cooked on a Utah-Cleveland over that I got 7 points of closing line value on. I got it at 234, it closed at 241, and it didn't even come close to going over. So, yeah, I'm not whatever. I would lean over just because of the patterns, but I'm not betting the over. Give me Memphis. Okay. Chris, I'm passing you the ball on this one because I really don't even know what to say about Cleveland-Portland.
Me either, Cal. I think, honestly, what I was looking at last night was trying to get to Portland early. I missed it. I saw 7.5 available. I think it was like on Hard Rock, so I couldn't bet it anyway because they limit me. But that's where I wanted to be. I do kind of feel like Portland matches up a little bit better. I know Portland has not necessarily been I know that they didn't cover against Cleveland the other day, but these are 2 totally different styles. I think they match up a little bit better with Cleveland, of course. They took Cleveland to the brink. This was just like 2 weeks ago. They took Cleveland to the brink. And if we're just looking at meaning, I think that Portland still has a chance to, get there and try to get that last play-in spot, but they're going to need to take care, win games like this. So definitely cover the 6.5. And they still 22-15 against the number at home, 20-11 against the spread as a home dog. Even after failing to cover against Boston, 10-4 against the number in revenge spots this season. Cleveland has only showed us that they are going to win, 1 game of their last 5. They're 1-4 straight up and against the spread. And they're playing the last game of a 5-game road trip. So it's a major fatigue spot here. They've also played 7 of their last 10 on the road. So I do think it's Cleveland, Portland or nothing, Kyle. I didn't bet it.
Toast with the allegations, man. Toast.
I saw that too. That was funny. They're called Funko Pops. Toast. Get cultured. All right. Jeez.
Yeah. We'd like to see the receipts. We're thinking FanDuel copped them. Moda, do you have a bet for this one?
Yes, I do. Evan Mobley over 5.5 first quarter points. Right now is -105 at Bet365. I got it at +100. I'm still good at -105. He's hit this number in 5 of 6 games without Donovan Mitchell in the lineup, who obviously is out tonight. Now, the one game he did miss was admittedly against this Portland Trailblazers team. He scored 0 points in the first quarter of that game. He ended up scoring 20 points in that game, hitting his point prop over. Had a pretty good game overall. It just wasn't the first quarter. The other 5, he went over in all 5. Actually scored 8 or more points in all 5 of them as well. So you could even ladder this up to 7, 8+ points in the first quarter if you wanted to. Of all the guys, like the main 3 without Donovan Mitchell, all their stats go up, obviously, between Mobley, Garland, and Jared Allen. Mobley plays the most of the first quarter of all those guys, and also has the best stats in the first quarter of all those guys, which is what led me to him. The matchup's really good. We don't have defensive data off of cuts, which is where Mobley scores the majority of his points. But the next 2, transition and free throws, the Blazers are the 7th worst defense guarding both of those categories. So Evan Mobley, first quarter points over 5.5, -105 right now.
Okay.
What are your thoughts on the game, Kyle?
So, I mean, it's Cleveland, man. Good luck with that. So obviously, you got the comfortable win over Utah, right? They win by 30 points or 29 points or whatever it was. Does that mean we just disregard the 4 games before that? I mean, Cleveland hasn't looked good. They haven't looked very motivated. What are they? They're 1-4 straight up. 1-4 against the spread in their last 5. 3-7, I believe, against the spread in their last 10. So does one win over Utah erase all that? Specifically, where the Cleveland has been straight up bad is defending the perimeter. This is a bottom 5 defense against the 3-point shot recently. They're getting lit up from the 3-point line, and that's significant in this matchup. Portland takes a lot of threes. Actually, in the last 10 games, second most in the NBA. They're second in 3-point frequency. So you have a Cleveland team who, granted, it's a small sample size, but based on the last 10 games, is struggling to defend the 3-point line. And you have a Portland team that takes a lot of threes. And check this out. The Blazers this year against bad 3-point defenses, against bottom 10 3-point defenses, 16-4 against the spread. 16-4 against bottom 10 3-point defenses. Now, do I think Cleveland is a bottom 10 3-point defense? Not really, but right now they look like they are. So if they're going to be lazy about closing out on the perimeter against these shooters, Portland's going to hit these shots, and I don't see how you could lay 6.5 on the road here. This number was higher early. If I had to pass one game on the board, it would be this one. I really don't feel strongly. I think Portland could win, though, based on what we've seen from Cleveland recently. Like I said, one game against the Jazz does not erase what we saw in the handful of games before that. So I think you have to go Portland, but I am not going to be betting this game. Next.
2 dogs I want to bet, Kyle. Portland, and I want to bet San Antonio.
What about this one, Chris?
The King, absolutely not. I'm not touching the Kings.
You just don't understand Kings ball.
So I don't. You're right. They got smoked last night. I probably should have bet Boston. I didn't.
Why did? Do not get that out, prop beaver. Get that out.
Then why are you talking tough like you want to bet the Kings?
He just talking, prop beaver. He just talking, man.
I definitely just got my bluff was called. I do have a bet on the game. It's not on the Kings. Why don't we pass it to the first quarter king first?
Yeah, I wonder what he's got.
Sure.
What's going to happen in the first here, Matt? What's going to happen in the first?
A player that nobody's ever heard of.